Hey guys, it's Monday. How are you all doing? I hope you're having a great day. Swig of coffee. Oh, it's all go today. Now, listen, before I continue, we have Amber on the stream feed at the moment, so I have no idea whether the quality is going to be any good on this one. We've always had green all the way through, so we might have problems today. If we do, well, hey ho, we'll see, sort that out. So let me know how the sound and the visuals is going, and hopefully it is going well. We've got two people in the house. Say hello, come and join in the chat. I'm going to swig my coffee and we're going to talk about photography and some information I'm going to give you. My lights are extremely bright. I got lights up today. I'm going to give you some information as well. Let me just move this desktop around a little bit so I can see what I am doing. I'm going to give you some information about how I back up my photographs. I take quite a lot of photographs, as you can imagine, thousands and thousands. And I, for a long time, was searching for a decent way of backing up my photographs because I'm like that. I like to know that I can get hold of my pictures whenever possible. So we're all good. So come on, jump onto that chat, say hello, don't be shy. Let's bring you all in if you have the time. Right, so on my little notice board today, what did I put? If your pictures aren't good enough, you aren't close enough. You're going to see that backwards because it's the way that I've got the OBS set up. But anyway, that saying, that famous quote was by a photographer called Robert Capa. If you know, hey Steve, how you doing, buddy? I hope we are live and you are seeing me fine here today. If you do not know Robert Capa as a photographer, let me just put this down here. Sorry, it's all go today. As usual, one day I'm going to start one of these scopes, one of these live broadcasts and say to you, look, I've had a really calm, quiet day. I'll be worried then. Robert Capa. Famous war photographer. If you do not know who he is, he did other stuff as well, but predominantly he was known as a war photographer. Go and check him out. I'd love to... No idea what that is. Go and check him out. I would love to show you some of his work, but obviously I haven't got permission to do that. Capa. Robert Capa. C-A-P-P-A, I believe. Hang on, I better Google that. He is an amazing photographer. Amazing. Let me just Google it. I told you I was having one of those days today. Is it 1p or 2p's? I beg your pardon. It's Robert Capa. C-A-P-A. I should know it. Let me write that on the up there for you. S-A-P-A. Robert Capa. There we go. It's up on the chat. Amazing photographer. I remember reading his life story. And it's just so inspiring what he kind of did. And he did a very famous, hey Robert, how you doing? Good evening, good evening. I just about got in here, just about 1 minute before 6. Amazing photographer, harrowing situations he covered. I mean, he was a war photographer. And he traveled the world covering one war to another war to another war. But this was his phrase, one of his quotes that he was made famous for is, if your pictures aren't good enough, you aren't close enough. You can check out, make sure I've got that correct. And people over the years have kind of said, well, when I first heard that quote, I don't know what other people say. When I first heard that quote, I always thought it meant that you should be up close and personal to the action. You should be up close and with a wide angle lens and in amongst it, you know, in amongst the images. Whether you're photographing a protest, whether you're photographing an event, whether you're photographing a wedding, whatever you're photographing in there. Hi Scott, we are friends with Simon. Hey Andrew, nice to have you on board. Thank you very much for joining me. You getting that image, to me, I like to be in close. I like to be using a wide angle lens. So when I first heard that quote when I was a wee lad and into my photography and just starting out, that's what I kind of took it as. More recent years, I think my opinion has changed about that quote. And if you look at his work, you will see. Remember, he was using Leicas back then, no digital cameras at all, film. And they certainly didn't have many long lenses back then. So you didn't have a lot of choice. You know, if there was something going on over there, you had to be over there in the action to capture it, right? But I also think it's changed slightly. I also think, let me get my coffee. I also think he means, and unfortunately he's no longer with us, so we can't actually find out, but I also think he means that you should So Steve's just looked him up, mostly black and white. Yes, oh, yes, yes, yes. A lot of the black and white stuff. I also think he means by that quote, you should also get to know the subject you are photographing. Okay? So if you're a photojournalist, you like documentary work, editorial work, I've said it before, even photographing a person's portrait, taking a photograph of a person and creating a portrait photograph, you need to know who these people are. You need to talk to them. You need to communicate with them. I once was working with a photographer when I was on the staff of a newspaper, and he said to me, very experienced photographer, Andrew his name was, and he said to me, your pictures are only as good as your subject. Okay? Andrew's just asked me when am I next in Cornwall. Not too sure actually. Not too sure. We'll have to we'll have to see on that one. So he once said it's really important to understand your subject, and I think that quote means that. It really means the fact that you need to know about the subject you're photographing. You need to be, if you're in a hot spot, if you're in a war zone, I guess, and I certainly think he did this, which was embed himself within a platoon of guys. He covered World War II and horrific battles and that kind of stuff. And I'm sure he didn't get his photographs just, by turning up, half an hour before and expecting to kind of these guys to accept him. So I think that's very important in photography that you learn how to do that. So that's kind of what I mean from it. So whenever I'm out taking photographs, and we've talked about gear before, okay? Don't get gear envy. You're wasting your life getting gear envy. There is always new cameras out there and new equipment. I was talking to somebody today. I was out taking photographs at, what was I taking photographs of? I was taking photographs down a lovely beach, and it was a beautiful sunny day today, so I was taking lots of photographs down there. For a client of mine who wanted some pictures of the beach and how busy it was and some of the facilities they have on. But they also had a sandcastle competition. So I was doing some photographs of that. And I got talking to a photographer there, and he said that, he was looking at the Sony cameras, and there's these mirrorless cameras that are coming out now, and there's an amazing bit of kit. And he said, I don't know. And I was saying, well, yeah, I've heard some good things about them, but, I'd have to invest so much money to rechange my whole gear. New glass and everything. Sorry, lenses. Glasses tend to be what you kind of call your lenses, glass. It cost me an absolute fortune, but I have heard good things about it. So, don't worry about stuff like that. So this phrase that I've started this off on and I tweeted it out is relevant, because the reason why it's relevant is you don't have to worry about gear, okay? I'm going to show you some of my gear, okay? Now, we have some beautiful... I saw my scope from Bognor yesterday, thank you. So yesterday I was shooting, as all my bits of paper go on the floor, I was shooting the Bognor Birdman, which was some crazy people jumping off a pier with homemade kind of flying machines. So my standard gear, that's an old D3, which is absolutely a beast of a camera. Nikon, absolutely super. And we got the 70-200 on there. Beautiful, and I normally have a 1.5 converter hanging around with me. So there's your long lens, okay? Now it's lovely to stand a little bit back from the action and be able to zoom in, and you need it. You need it when you're working on a job for a client, because you can't afford to miss any kind of photographs, okay? So what you normally run is that camera there, and then you've got another camera on you. I've talked about it before, and you've normally got about a 28 to a 70. So you've got two cameras, two lenses, and it covers pretty much everything. So you've got every single focal length from 28 all the way to 200mm covered. And you normally got another lens in your backpack, which is probably a bit more of a fisheye. And as I said, you've got a 1.4 times converter on there, so you're going up to about 300mm, and you've got everything covered. It's lovely to have this kind of gear, but don't worry too much about it. I've shown this before. 50mm, okay? It's on the D800, beautiful. They got a D850, I believe, coming out very soon. I think they had the D810. I believe it's called the next version. So this is the slightly older one. This is the D800. You've got the D810 coming out. There's lots of rumours of the D850. I think it's called the D850 coming out. Amazing. It looks like the specs are amazing on there. Yeah? And I'm getting a bit of gear envy, because I'm thinking, maybe I should upgrade. Beautiful camera, but the lens is small, 50mm on that one. For a long time, I was the longest lens that I shot anything on, and I'm thinking of actually going back to it, going back to fixed focal lengths rather than zooms, because zooms, they're so darn heavy. My back pays the price for it every single day and lugging the gear around. So I'm actually thinking back to going back to about 100mm, and then probably slightly wider as well, and probably go for about a 28 or a 24. Beautiful, beautiful. So Robert Capa would have been photographing majority of his stuff. I don't know whether he might have had a 70mm, he might have had something like that, maybe 100mm maximum. Okay, so sometimes you just got to stick with the gear you know and can afford and just go over to it and give it a go. So there's your challenge. Maybe we will have a new photography challenge, and I will set the challenge that you can only shoot wide angle or something like that. Maybe we'll do another one of those. And thank you for everybody that's entered. I have not had a chance to look at my Facebook or my Twitter, but I know people have sent in photographs of the weekend challenge that I did. Thank you very much. I will have a little look at those over the next couple of days, and we will put something together on there. Now, the other thing that I was going to tell you about, let's stick with this just for 2 seconds. Let's just stick with this. So here's a good example of getting close to a situation and how an image... How you doing? Andy's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. I didn't recognise your username. Andy is a photographer all the way out over in Ireland, and one day we will meet. Good photographer. So yeah, good stuff. He's had some front pages recently, so good shout out to him. So here's a good example. Let's go over to see whether this works just for a second. Yeah, baby. Let's just do this, and then hopefully you're going to either get a shot of the floor or you're going to get a shot of me. There you go. So here's a good example of, so we were talking about, Andrew was talking about Cornwall, okay? So I've done some road trips around Cornwall. This is some photographs of you. Some of you have seen them before, but for those people that haven't seen them, okay? This I travelled pretty light, and I was using just the 50mm. I'd recently bought it. It was nice. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. It's just saying great shot there. Brilliant. I really, really appreciate that. So this is a classic example of getting close into the action, yeah? I've managed to get a conversation going up with a fisherman. So there is a person in these Wellington boots on the right hand of the photograph there. And I said, can I do some photographs? And yeah, whatever, go for it, you know, no problem at all. And I kind of like that shot. It's kind of a nice working shot. I thought I'd scroll through some of my stuff and just show you some bits and bobs, and hopefully give you a nice example about getting in close. Now, hang on 2 seconds. Let's go back to me. It's difficult to get in close, all right? There's a whole different psyche. There's a whole different approach to shooting images on a wide angle lens, okay? Because suddenly, you know, if you can go off and you can hide behind that. Oh, the boat builder, Andy was just saying, yeah, I might show you some of the pictures of that. The boat builder, that was good. That was a good shoot. That was down in Plymouth. Okay, this is nice to stand off in the background. Yeah, you're at an event, you're at the car show, you're at a, I don't know, what could we be at, a horse racing or whatever. Well, you'd need one then, you know, and you're doing the people photographs and people are wandering around and what have you, and you want to get those natural photographs. Okay, you know, there's kind of they still call it reportage photography. I don't know whether they do. I don't like tagging stuff because it's just my style. So, and sailing, yes, absolutely. So it's lovely, but when you're doing your photography of people, yeah, it's nice to use something like that because you can hide a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't mean all that paparazzi stuff. I just mean that you can disappear a little bit and you can get natural photographs, okay? So let's put this scenario up here. You are at an event, okay? Let's use this. What was I at recently? Let's think. Okay, Dunkirk. I was talking about the Dunkirk event. Okay, you're at a Dunkirk event and you've got 75th anniversary and all the people are arriving. Okay, actually, that was a load of rubbish, that example. Let's go back to the example that I was showing you on here. Okay, so this photograph here. Let's actually keep this relevant. Come on, Scott, wake up, man, wake up. Right, okay. So I could have taken this photograph, admittedly not in the same perspective because you might have been able to do it on a 70mm. You might have to be up high a little bit. But I could have taken this photograph and had no contact with the people within this photograph, in this scenario in the picture at all. and got this image on a long lens, had no conversation with them at all, yeah? A couple of pictures, gone on my memory. It's easy to do images like that, or should I say easier to do an image like that. No problem at all. It's just, you know, it's like I said, you do that same image on a 50mm or a 28mm, you can hear the person breathing next to you. Okay, you can work out what cologne or aftershave they're wearing. Yeah, you can smell the fish in the boat. Okay, you can smell the sea. You can smell everything. Suddenly, your senses as a photographer or a visual person are awakening because you're getting more involved with the situation. Yeah. See you later, Andy. Andy's off. Thank you very much, buddy. Keep up the good work out in Ireland. So you can, it's all part of it. So now you've got that conversation going. I was talking to him about the fish, you know, and it makes difference to your images. So that is why I strongly believe you can get some cracking shots on long lenses, but sometimes, you know, be brave. You've got to be brave and go for it. Make yourself put your long lens away and actually go and talk to somebody. I know a lot of people, it's like a little bit of a fear people have to go up to a total stranger and say, hey, can I take your photograph? Can I take your picture? All right. I don't know whether I'll be able to do this really quickly. Let me just see whether I can. If I go through to the home page, I think it's on my home page. Bear with me. I'm going to swig tea while we find the page. Bear with me. There's a photograph here that I did of a chap, and I went up to this guy. No, it's not her. There he is, right in the middle there. Hey, Robert's just commented there. Now, I'm doing that now. 18 to 55 being used more than the 70 to 300. Beautiful lens, 70 to 300, absolutely super. 18 to 55, absolutely magical. Magical, magical, super duper lens because you've got atmosphere with it, okay? This was taken on a 50mm lens. That gentleman there, it was at in Brighton. Now, if you know Brighton, I think I did a scope from it. I can't quite remember. Brighton, you have mods and rockers come down, and they have VW vehicles coming down there, and you have the bikers come down there, and they have big events along the seafront. And I went down, and this guy, you can see, looks quite intimidating to say the least. I mean, there's not everybody that kind of has all these tattoos over their face. And I just saw him in the crowd, and I just thought, I've got to have a photograph of him. Yeah, and I could have held around and done it or tried to do something on the long lens. And me being me, it's just like, no, actually, I've got my 50mm with me. I don't think I even had the long lens on me. Probably in the backpack, couldn't be bothered to change it, but I wanted to go and ask him, not to mention he had some big mates, okay, so obviously I don't want to annoy him, I'm not out to annoy anybody, but I was intrigued by his tattoos and everything, so I got talking to a mate of his, because he was kind of fixing his bike or whatever, and I said, can I do a photograph? Do you think I could do a photograph of this guy? I didn't come out just like that, I rambled on a little bit, yeah, kind of get the conversation going a bit. And he said, I don't know. I said, he twigged that I was explained what it was for. I do the kind of photography stuff and what have you, pro photographer. He said, I'm not sure whether he's going to go for it. I tell you what, I'll go and ask him for you. So he went off and asked him. And he, yeah, no problem at all. And do you know what? He's a really, really nice, down-to-earth guy. I did a couple of images of him. I said, do you want me to send you a copy? I got a lovely photograph. I was sure it's a good photograph on the back of the camera. So I got a cracking picture. Do you want me to send one? Nah, don't worry, he said. It's not a bother. And we were talking about his motorbike because he was doing up his motorbike. Really, really nice guy. So I strongly believe that having that connection with him at that particular time made a big difference in the image. Not to mention, I could do it on a 50mm. With very, very small depth of field. So it's got this lovely blur all around it, and his eyes are pin sharp, and he's looking straight in there, and it's just perfect. So that's the kind of example I'm going to give you about getting in close. Yeah? So your 18 to 55 that Robert said he's practicing with at the moment and using more and more, 50mm, I don't know what your aperture is on that. Maybe 2.8 if you're lucky, but you still won't quite get it as out of focus. But you can always pick a dark subject behind there. Be really good. 2 seconds. I've got to pick up my bit of newspaper. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Oh, dear me. Oh, that's old age for you. It's not old age, actually, because I'm not that old. That's carrying cameras for too many years. It makes you very achy. Right, what else were we going to talk about today? Let's go back to me. Was I going to show you some more images? I was going to show you some more images. Let me show you some more images. Let's give you another little example very quickly, because I want to inspire you. This is why I do this, okay? This is why I do live streaming. This is why I do photography, blogs, and that kind of stuff, okay? I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to tell you, you know, go and buy this because somebody's sponsored me. Nobody sponsors me. I'll tell you like it is from a working pro photographer of what I've learned and how I do it personally. I've told you before, there's always 100 different ways of doing it. So you'll probably meet somebody else and they'll tell you, oh, what a load of old rubbish. So I don't know whether we've still got Andrew in the house, but he mentioned Cornwall. This isn't quite Cornwall. This is Plymouth, which he might know. I'm not sure what part of the world he is. So this, I went down, I was on a road trip, okay? I was on a road trip. It was about a 10-day road trip around, and I'd set up some stories. And this is another example, okay? That was actually taken on the 50mm lens, but I found these swimmers, and they were going for a swim. Okay, let's go back to this one. So I'm walking along, it's a beautiful morning, I just had a nice cup of coffee, hardly anybody around. The light was absolutely beautiful, and I saw this lone swimmer coming out of, I think I talk about this on the blog, but lone swimmer coming out of the sea. And it was quite early on in the year. I can't quite remember, I'm going to say it was April time, around that kind of time. And I thought there's a cracking image there. And I went off and did this shot and wandered around a little bit. And then that one person was joined by a load of other swimmers. So I thought, oh, the light is perfect. Excuse me, indigestion. Too much coffee and too much talking. The light was perfect. And I could have stood way back, did a set of photographs from right up on the ridge there that you can see. Could have gone back to the car, got the long lens out. I had no interaction with these people at all. But no, I could see my image. I've talked about this before. I could see my image before I've taken it. And that's just experience. I take a lot of images, okay? And I wanted to capture that image. So in my mind, before I've even taken it, and I'm sure other photographers are the same, was a wide angle shot of them entering the sea. Okay, or fairly wide, okay? Certainly not on a long lens. So I went down, had a conversation with them, got chatting. Can I do some photographs? Yeah, no problem. So Roberts just says, I have much more fun when talking to those in the image. Yeah, you do, big time. And I got talking to them. They said, yeah, no problem. I was explaining about my road trip and what I do. Yeah, no problem. Gave them a card. Drop me an email. Always give people photographs, okay? Don't be precious about your images. If they've allowed you to take a picture of them, give them your card or give them your email address and make sure you send them a copy of the photograph. All right? Don't watermark it. Give it to them. They are kind enough to let you photograph them. Yeah? Yeah, no problem. Join it. So we did all that, had a chat. And then I just went for it. And we got a lovely set of images. Look at the light on this. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful images. Let's just scroll that up above me. One of my favourite images, right there. Oh, perfect. That's my image. That's the photograph for me. Can't remember what else is on here now. I think I've got some wider ones as well. Look how clear that sea is there. Look at it, the water there, beautifully clear. And then they went off. I think I'm on about a 50mm. So I did a sequence of pictures. So going back to the very top, this is my image here. Where was it? Was it at the top? No, it wasn't. It's down here. Hold on to your hats. Hold on to your hats. There. I thought I'd put it on the top. So Andrew's heading back to St Ives to hopefully meet up with Simon, who's a periscoper down there. Oh, that'll be good. And you, St Ives is beautiful. Love St Ives. Such a lovely place. The light. Talking about light, the light in St Ives is magical. You ever get a chance to get down there and take a camera or take your easel and your painting material and go down there and spend some time and paint and create. The light is outstanding. I love it there. So that is my image, and that's how it's created, and it's getting in there, talking to the people. So be brave. There we go. There we go. Be brave. Get out there and connect with people. Talk to them. It's amazing that very rarely will you have somebody say no to you. It's all about your approach you've got to work at. So going back to the photographer I used to work with, and he said, you're only as good as the subject that you photograph. Your pictures will only be as good as the subject you photograph. In other words, you've got to win as a photographer, okay? You've got to win over your subject just as much, unless you're photographing eagles that live up on a tree somewhere, or a tiger, maybe you don't have to talk to them. But I probably would personally talk to them. I would try and have a conversation. So if you're dealing with people, you've got to learn the skills of and it's just as important as knowing how to take a photograph and deal with apertures and shutter speeds. It is, I would almost say, it's more important, almost more important than your photography skills in knowing how to deal with people. Because if you can't deal with people, it ain't going to happen. You're gonna get no's all the way down the line. So you've got to work on it. So Andrew's commenting there. I use a Fuji F550. Is that EXR? When we were on holiday. I've not heard of that. I've heard the brand, but I don't know that camera. I have to check it out. Interesting stuff. Good stuff. So this will interest you, I'm hoping, because I did tell everybody I was going to tell you about. Let's just snip that back to there because I'd rather see the little image there that I've got up. So what is I going to talk about? I'm going to sip my coffee and remind myself. Backing up images. Okay. Enough talking about photographs. It's not a new camera, but he likes it. There we go. It's all about the gear. It's about what you see here. These two things here, your eyes. That's what really, really matters. Everything else you can learn, but it's what you see is really important. So backing up images is really a headache, okay? I like to back my images up. So really, if there was a major catastrophe, I could get hold of my images. When I'm in my 80s, if I live that long, hopefully I will, I want to be able to go and find that image that I took yesterday, the day before, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I want to be able to do everything and go and find them and know that they are secure. Up until, embarrassingly, not probably about, I'll say 3 or 4 years ago, I used to burn every single image that I took. Pretty much. I used to do a little bit of an edit. Pretty much everything I burnt onto DVDs. Okay, I've got boxes of them everywhere. Because cloud storage hadn't really come into its own then, it was very expensive, all that kind of stuff. Hard drives, not too sure about that, and I certainly don't keep stuff on my computer, he says, although I have stuff on my computer. So, how do you go about saving your stuff? This is what I do to hopefully future-proof my work and save it. So when I've done an assignment for a client, whether I've done my own personal stuff, I can access it. Okay, this is what I do. Now, current now. Hard drives. Okay, I get a hard drive. Now, I haven't been sponsored to say this, okay? G drives are very good drives, okay? I've had G drives in the past. I haven't got them now. I'm over onto CGAT, I believe, looking at the box. CGAT or is it GAT? I'm on those anyway now. G drives are very good. They're a little bit more expensive, a little bit more of a pro option, okay? I then run 2 hard drives side by side, okay? Get the biggest storage you can get. At the moment, I'm running about 4 terabytes, okay? So they are linked to the computer. So when I come back from an assignment taking photographs, I download them onto my computer, okay? I shoot everything in a RAW file format and JPEG backup. I call them JPEG backup, okay? Because my camera can handle two slots in there, okay? Now, let's concentrate on the images. I feel like I'm going to pray. I'm not going to pray. I've put them on my desktop, download them. I do not wipe them from my cards until everything is done. So they sit on those 2 cards, or 3 cards, 10 cards, yeah, from the camera, sit next to my desk, just here, right? I've got them on my desktop. I then rename them all, make sure they've all loaded up properly and they've downloaded onto the computer, okay? This is gold information you've got here. Nobody's heard this. That I do this. This is what I do. I then take all those NEF files, okay, RAW files, they're Nikon NEF files, and then I will put them onto one hard drive, manually put them on. I do not use any software at all. Okay, you can get some of these hard drives will have backup software on there. Mac, I think, are they still running Time Machine? I don't trust it. I'm really bad. I want to physically open up a folder and drop it onto the hard drive, and I want to see it going across, and I want to see hear the hard drive whizzing around, and the little light going ding 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 ding. Yeah, and then go, and then I go in and I check that those pictures have gone over there properly, and I can open them. Okay. Great, that one's done. Okay, that's my master hard drive. I've then got a second hard drive that I have called my backup hard drive. So I then do exactly the same thing on the backup hard drive. And over the course of the weeks, days, months, whatever, it will build up and build up. If one hard drive goes down, the logic behind it is I have a second hard drive. Okay, I'm not taking it any further, because I worry about it enough, okay? But you could go, what happens if another drive goes down, blah, 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 blah. And if you go, you can look online for the rest of your life trying to get specifications and recommended drives, okay? I've used G drives, good, all right? Not had any problems with them. I've used the CGAT or CGATE drives, not had any problems with them, okay? That's what I do. When that drive is full, I then unplug it, put it in the box, the other one gets locked away in a different premises, okay, and I've got them there and I can access them easily. Now here, you're going to need a pen and paper if you want to get yourself hard drives, okay? This is what you've got to look out for. Seagate, yes. I got mine off Amazon, I believe, and they were a good price, 4 terabyte. Pretty sure they're 4, they might have gone up to 8. No, 4 terabyte. I'm checking the box again. 4 terabytes on there, so you can get a lot of stuff on there. You get a smaller drive if you want. If you're not shooting as many pictures that I'm doing, you can get a smaller drive, save yourself a bit of money. Okay, but you don't. I don't think you want a 300 terabyte hard drive with your whole life's work sat on there. I would rather have lots of hard drives, if you get my meaning. Yeah, and there's less chance if one goes down, you're not going to lose your whole work. Okay. That's your hard storage. That is what you go to. That is what I use on a daily basis. I edit from those. Once they're on there, then I delete my cards once I've edited all my photographs. And I've got edited versions of them on the hard drives. In fact, I'm lying because there's another process that I'm going to tell you about. But get a pen and paper and I will give you some facts of what you're looking out for on the hard drive when you decide to get yourself a hard drive. Okay. Connection type is very important, okay, because what you can actually do is edit from those hard drives. You don't want it to be slow. In theory, you just put your hard drive on. I'm going to edit some photographs, okay, and those file sizes can be really big. So you want to be able to maximize the speed of that hard drive, that external hard drive you've got sat on your desk, okay. So you want to check that it's got a USB 3 connection. USB 3 is fast. I'm using that at the moment, okay? They do Thunderbolt. They had Firewire, they've got Thunderbolt, okay? Thunderbolt is very fast, but it is expensive. You go and look for a Thunderbolt drive, that's for Mac, by the way, okay? Because I use Mac. Don't even get me started on Windows. We're not going there today, okay? Another day we will talk about Windows. So I use Mac, okay, Apple Macs. So you can go down the Thunder Drive route. Was it Thunder Drive? Thunderbolt route. Thunder Drive. Wasn't that a kids' TV channel? Thundercats. That's what I'm thinking of. You can do that. So you can go down that route. Okay, but USB 3 is very fast and it will save you some money on your drives. Okay, get USB 3. Okay, don't get the cheaper version. Check, USB 3. Windows can test your patience. Yes. The amount of time, I said I wasn't going to talk about Windows stuff, was I? The amount of times I've sat waiting for a blinking PC to sort itself out because Microsoft has started to dump a load of downloads on me. And no, it does happen in the background when you've got that really important job to be getting out. Never again. Never, ever again. Anyway, there we go. The next thing you need to check, so USB 3, write that down, USB 3, this is what you're looking for. The next thing you've got to do is check the RPM. This is the speed at which the disk, because in theory what it's got is a revolving disk inside it, okay? That's spinning. Now, if your spinning disk is slow and they have different speeds, the cheaper ones would be slower, okay? My spinning disk, I've written it down so I want to get it right for you, because I've just bought it and it's sat there and I haven't, it just does what it needs to do. 7,200 RPM means it's going around fast, which means when you're writing stuff on there or taking stuff, reading stuff off it, it's going to be nice and quick transfer. That mixed in with your USB 3, it's zinging and zanging all over the place and you will not have time to make cups of tea while your Windows machine starts to reboot itself because you will have already finished processing your images on your lovely Mac. There we go. Okay, that's it. That's it. Speed. This is what you want. That's what I do. Now you can get fixed state. I believe they're called fixed state drives, which are like big, like your CF cards or your cards that you put in your cameras. Now, expensive. Okay, no spinning parts on there. A lot more predictable. There's a spinning disc. It's just yeah. You can even go higher. There we go. Andrew has even said you can go higher. You can go higher, Andrew. But you've got to watch. It's the pricing though. There's that fine line between what I would do is just go for the solid state drives. Personally, if money was no object, solid state drives because you've got no spinning parts in there. There's no risk of that little needle when it gets a knot going like that and your hard drive being inaccessible. But there's got to be a point where you say, well, no, I'm not a millionaire. Yeah? So that's what I go for. So higher the better. You might get a great deal online on one. So take Andrew's advice. Get that number up high. If you look at these and it's out of your budget, don't worry about it too much. Remember, I'm using these daily and I need to get my pictures out quickly. If you're just doing a couple of photographs because you're an amateur, fine, it's no problem. And you don't mind waiting for your stuff to back up onto your drives, save yourself a bit of money and go for a slower drive. Okay? But I don't like waiting. Life's too short and all that kind of stuff. Now, the next big tip that I'm going to give you, I think I covered everything. Let me just check my notes. See, look, I've written it down. I'm organised today. I'm done. That's done. Okay, the next thing I can do, and this is really good, I use Novatech. They're in Plymouth. Novatech. Oh, good stuff. I've heard the name. And very good. There we are. Robert, he's just 2 people, recommendations. There we are. Go and check out Novatech. The next thing I do, and I think this is that extra step, but very, very useful, is cloud storage. Now, well, last time I looked at this, cloud storage was a blinking nightmare. Okay. Absolute nightmare. The best platform that I've found for cloud... I don't know why I'm doing all this today. The best platform I've found for cloud storage is SmugMug. Okay? SmugMug. Let me put that in the comments for you for those people that can't hear me or want to catch up on this later. SmugMug. That's it. It's on the comments so you can see it on the chat. YouTube, I'm not being sponsored by these people. None of these brands are sponsoring me. This is what I use on a daily basis, and this is my setup, okay? I'm putting this out as advice to you, just to put that in there. SmugMug is absolutely amazing, and I will tell you one of the reasons why. The most prominent reason why it's absolutely amazing is there are other backup cloud storage companies out there, right? But when I was looking for cloud storage, and I'll say it was probably 2-3 years ago, maybe a little bit longer now actually, and I really wanted something, a lot of them will make you download a piece of software that sits on your computer and you tell it when to back up your computer, or it does it for you, okay? And it backs it all up. Doesn't that sound really good? That I never have to worry about that again. Okay, you can sit there. Every new file you put on your computer goes ding, 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 ding on the internet, and it even does it when you're asleep. How about that? Even better. But the problem with it is, if you then delete that file from your computer, some of them, not all of them, some of them will delete it from the cloud storage. What is the point in that? Please someone tell me. Why would you want that? Because surely you're not going to keep all your thousands and thousands of absolutely award-winning photographs, video, film, pictures of the cat, whatever, on your computer desktop. No, you're not. You're going to do what I'm suggesting. Hopefully, you're going to think that makes sense, Scott. You're going to put it on 2 hard drives. You're going to keep your computer as free of clutter as possible so it works as quickly as possible. SmugMug do not do this. You have to manually, although they have a nice little app that lives at the top of my screen just up here that I can click on, and upload the images, okay? So that is good. You are in full control over it. It takes you a little bit longer, but you get into a workflow and you're putting them up there in the cloud. Fully protected. Only you can access them if you choose that. Brilliant, okay? Even better, hang on, hold on to your hats. I'm going to have a swig of this because I'm getting excited. Are you ready? It's unlimited. Unlimited storage, okay? Unlimited. Now, when I first read that, I did think to myself, are they kidding me? This is not going to be happening. They're going to be ringing me up after probably about 3 months worth of work and saying, excuse me, Mr. Ramsey, you're using far too much data. And actually, you know, we said unlimited. It's not really unlimited. It is unlimited. I've got the figure here. I've written it down. I would show you, but it's backwards because I explained that scenario down here. I just checked just now before I started this. I have 1.56 terabytes of photographs on there. Okay, 1.56 terabytes of photographs on there. All right, yeah, and they're not even. I have not heard a thing from them. No problem at all. So I will endeavour. If this changes, I will do another update and let you know that this changes. So it is unlimited. All I say is if you go with them, get a decent broadband speed, because if you're like me, so back to my method. So you need decent broadband, and it's the upload speed you want, okay? So shop around, because a lot of it will be good download speed for watching your movies and rubbish upload speed. Okay, search around, get a good upload speed. So when I come back from an assignment, I've got 800 photographs. I put all my NEFs on my hard drive, my raw files that I'm going to edit from. That other card that I told you about in my camera, because I have 2, because I'm lucky like that, are JPEGs, okay, exact copies. Those JPEGs then, where are they going to go? They're going to go straight up to SmugMug, okay? They go and live at SmugMug, unedited, nothing done with them apart from uploading them, and they just sit there, okay? So that is my 3rd backup. Oh, I've got a notification. I don't want to know about that. That is my 3rd backup. They live there, okay? They're only JPEGs, but they're high-res JPEGs, sitting there perfectly. And then what I also do is, as I edit my photographs, I'm then putting them up there. See you soon, Andrew. Thank you for joining me. Andrew is off. He's probably going to have some nice dinner. So then what I will do is as I edit my photographs, I will also put up my edited photographs up there. So then I've got the edited ones, unedited pictures. I've got everything on the cloud, living there. Now the beauty of SmugMug is that you don't have to spend an absolute fortune to achieve this. This is good news. If you're an amateur and you don't need all singing, all dancing websites, because you can build websites with them. You can sell your images with them. It links directly with the lab. So if you're a photographer and you're thinking, I want to sell my stuff, but I don't want to have to put pictures go to the lab, pick up the print, put it in an envelope, go it to the post office. None of that rubbish. You can actually set it up, depending on what plan you have, that you can actually, me as a viewer, go onto your website, click you want a 12 by 8 of that, pay for it online. I, as a photographer, have put a markup on there, so the cost of the print is paid for. I can get however much profit I want to make out of that, and then the lab print it, put it in a lovely envelope and send it directly to the client for you. You don't even have to see the print if you don't want to. Amazing. But if you're not interested in all that and you just want cloud storage, okay, for your photographs, all right, check the prices, because I think they brought out a new plan since I do it. I'm on the portfolio plan, which allows me to do a lot of what I wanted to do. There's a basic plan. I'm going to cough, excuse me. That's better. There's a basic there's a basic plan that I've worked out because it's in dollars. It's great getting smug. Cha-ching, email at 2 a.m. sell. Yes, Andy, how you doing? So Andy's out in the States. He knows all about SmugMug. Thank you for joining me, buddy. I've worked it out. If you pay an annual price, it's about £3 a month. A price of a coffee, and you've got unlimited cloud storage for your photographs. That's just, in fact, it's cheaper than the coffee that I normally buy. I'm about £3.20, £3.50 for a coffee, and I've got that peace of mind. So the basic storage, and go online and check it all out. I have got a lovely treat for you, okay? Because I'm already with them, they like me to refer people to them, okay? So I can give you guys a 20% discount if you go and sign up for them, okay? Now, the only reason why I'm referring them is because I use them, not because they've asked me to do it. It just happens to be a setup that they have. So I will tweet that out or put that up on my Facebook on there, and you can go and check it out. Go and check it out. Check out other companies. Check out them all. That's the one I use, and it is lovely. Works really, really well. So Andy, what are your experiences with using it? So he's selling photographs out in the States with that. So just to remind you what he said, it's great getting a SmugMug cha-ching email at 2 a.m. that you made a sale. Absolutely. And I so like that facility. If you're a pro photographer or a semi-pro photographer, the fact that you could have that working away from you, you're doing event photography, whatever, and you just direct people there. You don't have to deal with money. You don't have to deal with anything. They've even got, last time, SmugMug tweet. Yeah, Robert, I'll make sure you get that, buddy, because I've got you, I follow you as well, so I'll put that across to you. Because they handle it all for you, it's really, really good. But I genuinely think if you don't need all that, right, just go for the basic plan and just have total unlimited storage. I believe I was reading on there, I could have a quick look, couldn't I? I believe I was reading, oh, well, I can show you my SmugMug. Do you want to look at my SmugMug? This is how I've got it set up. So you can have an all singing, all dancing website and a photo gallery on there. So you don't even have to have a website anywhere else, actually. You could just do it there. So let me just hit this button here. Okay, so this is one of my galleries on my SmugMug. I call it Photographer's Eye Gallery. So I link it off my main website, and you go off on here and you have some pictures that I've taken. So this is what a viewer, a purchaser, somebody who is looking for photographs will see. Let's choose a nice one. Oh, the horses, the ponies. This is quite a nice image. So click on that. The image comes up. Let's just move this because I'm running out of time. You've got a buy button, which is underneath me at the moment, but you can literally, so you can tag it all. You've got lots of different options you can throw in there. And then you can, oh, that's for me to download. You don't want to do that. But I can hit the buy button, so I can buy that. I don't know how well you're going to see this. Loading the gallery. You can watermark your images, so you can see the fact that I've got my little moustache and my camera logo up on there and my name. And then obviously when that is printed, it's not. You've got loads. Oh, I was with them a very long time ago, SmugMug, but one of the big problems with them was that they weren't linked with a photo gallery in this country. Now they are. I can't see myself. Let me move that down. They are now linked with a place called Loxley Colour. professional photo lab, amazing quality, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So it comes from the UK. Because one of my biggest problems is if somebody in this country who used to buy an image, they would have to pay an awful lot of postage and packing to get the image all the way over from the States. But now they've sorted that out and it's all brilliant. So you can put up your own prices. Here's my prices on here. Look, I'm marking up. You charge whatever you want on there, and people literally. So if I was going to buy this image, there we go. You got the. I've set this up. There's just so much you can do on there. So I can do this. I'm going to do a luster print. There we go. Let's not move that around too much. Look, they can even crop the image. Gone are the days of trying to find out why a client is not happy because they wanted it cropped a certain way. Look, they can crop the image and then have it printed. And if they move it in too quickly, then it comes up with a little warning and says this will be pixelated, blah, blah, blah. It's so simple, it's magical. So it's just a big advantage anyway. Really good stuff, highly recommended. If you're not interested in that, I'm definitely recommending it because online storage is the way to go. Absolutely brilliant. Listen guys, I'm going to head off. I think it's time for dinner. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have found that useful. If you've got any questions, just send me a message. I'll try and answer it. If I'm not out taking photographs, I'll answer it as quickly as I can. It looks like a great surface. It certainly is, Robert. Go and check it out. I'll make sure that you get a link for that one. I will put something up on my Facebook page. I will put something up on my Twitter account as well, where you can follow the link, check the plan that you want, all that kind of stuff. It's been a blast. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all again soon. And yeah, I'm enjoying looking at your photographs soon. So I'm going to be looking at those again too. Anyway, adios, amigos. Have a great evening. Thank you very much. Thanks for the live stream. Really enjoyed it, as always. See you later, guys. Bye from me.